host. Hey,
Hey, look, it says live right there.
we are live. See, it said you are live.
Hey, you
not
know what?
alive. What's that, Pat?
I'm kind of hungry.
Are you? There's no way you're hungry. Absolutely no way, because
You just work me so hard.
you showed up and you brought me steak. You
Started.
brought like 12 pounds of ribeye. So
I show up and you're like, here, carry my bed up the hill.
that's very true. And what did I do? I told you to carry it by yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even offer to help you. I was like, you can carry it. You're a good pack mule.
it was fine. I had it until you jumped on top.
That's right. So for anybody in the audio only, when you hear this recording, who do I have next to me? See, complete silence, radio silence. Hey, Byron Roberts. So for those in the audio only, knives. So if it wasn't enough, if we didn't have a long enough weekend, we went to Nicole's LFTN workshop.
Yeah.
And Patrick messages me.
I need a break. I'm tired.
He's tired. He needed to come out and completely relax at Delinquents Gully, which actually means.
And you were like, hey.
Okay, we're just because we're on StreamYard. Hey guys, hey Jamie, we're gonna not StreamYard, but
sorry.
We're on Starlink tonight, guys. We're doing pretty good. I need to move the antenna around a little bit, so if we blink out once in a while, you'll see us. We got 8 people on here already.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna warp 9.
Yeah, let's go to warp 9.
I can't do it, Captain. I got nothing left.
Beam me up, Scotty.
That is very true. So I have the one and only. If Jamie, if you got your knife on, this is who's here, Mr. Patrick Rohrman. Absolutely. So we got Rachel C in there. Yeah. So it's good to see everybody. We just finished up with LFTN. Patrick messages me and he says, hey, I really need to see Delinquents Gully. Never been there before. Hook a brother up.
I got tired of waiting for the invite.
You did. So you invited yourself.
I always do that.
Yeah. So you showed up. So this is the type of dude Patrick is. He shows up with a bag full of groceries from where? It was Sprouts, which is like
there's Hogs and Digger.
Hey Digger, hey Hoss, how are you? B-Man J, Rachel
Sorry.
C, Off Grid Ping, good to have you guys. Patrick shows up with all the fixins to make
most of them
squished avocado, right?
Yeah,
Couldn't
find a good knife,
right? But guacamole, it was incredible. Yeah, Chinese knife.
Thanks for sharing that song with me.
With the there we are.
We're gonna lose all of our audience.
I know, it's pretty bad. So here we are, guys. Pat's getting ready to hit the road in a little bit for another long drive, aren't you?
That wasn't too loud, was it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So I think we got some leaves in the way and things are going to kick out, but I had to get you on because you've never been on the show before, have you?
Man, I'm just honored to be here.
Wow, you should be. I mean, no, I'm a dick for not actually inviting you before. That's really what it comes down to. So Patrick comes up and he builds a fire from scratch using charcoal. I show up and he's cutting up steel stock.
Yeah, just some steel rod.
He's like, I knew you'd be here eventually, Tim, and I knew you didn't have a barbecue, so I'm going to cut up steel stock. We're gonna build a fire pit from scratch. We're gonna have 4 pounds of ribeye and handmade guacamole.
Yeah,
and it was exceptional, beyond exceptional.
It was all right.
It was the best meal we've had at Delinquents Gully yet. Now, without trying to, razz you a little bit.
Right?
Well, and you don't want to insult Andy.
Oh, no, Andy's was great. Okay. Yeah.
Are we competing with Andy? Andy knows.
Andy did good. So let's just say that since I've started spending the night here, this was by far the best meal we've had. And the bar isn't very hot.
However, I cheated.
How did you cheat?
I think when we were talking on the phone, I kind of made you feel like you shouldn't eat lunch.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
I knew you did.
Yeah, because if you're hungry, any bitter thing tastes sweet.
That's true. That's what she said. I appreciate that though, because I am it hit the spot. The guacamole
secret ingredient. It's not love, it's starvation.
Hey, dude, I'm telling you. So that's why we have the cookbook of the claps we do on Thursday show.
Oh,
because we're they're not the greatest recipes in the world, but Man, beans and rice taste good. And when you get tired of that, eat rice and beans.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah. You know, you just shake it up, mix it up. So what'd you think of, why don't we do, you want to do a little quick LFTN recap?
Sure.
Yeah. So we sat down and recorded an interview for the Patreon, which was
You
cool.
guys will see that next year.
Yes, at least 12 months from now. But it was
Yeah.
a good interview.
You can travel back in time.
Yeah, we did say that, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we did.
Yeah, we had a hell of a time.
We're time travelers.
We are kind of like Marty McFly, but
Yeah,
better
but with
looking, right?
Starlink.
with
There's
Starlink. That's
Angie
true.
Marie.
Hey, Angie Marie, I see you pulled a personal best the other day, or at least she was doing some. She is a weightlifter. It's pretty actually incredible. So she's the tiniest lady, and she lifts some very big weights. So
Nice.
she will be at. I think I'm pretty sure Angie. Yeah, no, Angie is. She's like the 3-week countdown. She's going to be at the workshop get together at Nate and Aaron's in
Okay.
Illinois. So that'll be good. So LFTN 2024
Recap.
recap. So what did we do?
We just had a blast, man. Just it's always great.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time. Hey, you.
Hung out with our friends,
We did.
ate some good food,
Ate some good food.
learned some new things.
Yep. I smoked a couple of good cigars.
Man, there were so many cigars this year.
There were a lot of cigars.
I didn't. I
this year.
smoked a couple cigars and I didn't even try.
You did. That's what Becky said. She gets in the car. She's like, "What is that smell?" And I always, when she drives,
Yeah.
I put my hand behind her head, just
Yeah.
and all she could smell was
Oh,
cigar
yeah.
on me. I was like, "All right, I'll put it down. I apologize. I'm sorry." So I guess, did you get there Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday.
We decided that maybe we're just getting old, but we can't do 4 nights in a row.
Yeah.
That's why.
Every year I try to get there like Wednesday early.
Yep.
And every year I get there about Wednesday at sunset.
Fair enough. So maybe you should try showing up like the Thursday before or something.
Probably
You get there.
so.
Yeah.
This
Jamie
year
said he has his knife on and he's already used it.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Are you on the road yet, Jamie? Did you? He's heading to Illinois to do some more work, unless that didn't happen. But
Said it's very nice.
no, it is. Just what?
Just be sure you send me a picture. When
Yeah,
you cut
so-
yourself.
What is your recommendation for a brand new Genesis knife? Because you pack it with a couple of steri strips. Don't you?
Yeah. I should. You know what I should? I
What's
don't
that?
know. You need like a QR code or something that when you get injured, you can take it and
Problem is, you'll have blood all over the QR code.
that's true.
But
Kind of messy.
I
I really don't want people to cut themselves.
no. But people,
But if they do, I'm proud of. I like to see my work, my
you
handiwork.
you legitimately can cut a hair in half with your knives when you sharpen them, can't you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. I've seen him do it. The only dude I know that travels with an electron microscope. I think that's what it's called, right? Kind
It's an electric microscope.
okay. All right.
An electron microscope would be cool,
Yes.
but mostly I think they're a little expensive. Mostly universities have them and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Still pretty impressive.
It is.
Patrick's at Nicole's, and he's there sharpening knives, and he's like, "Here, take a look at this." And he has, "How does that even work? What is it? Just a little
I could tell you, but then I'd have to.
stab me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an amazing technology. It's like little digital microscope. Got a screen, big LCD screen.
You're like the Mike Tyson of knife sharpening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate. I mean it. I'm like,
I'm still trying to get better.
Yo, you are. No, yeah. So Thursday. So for anybody who's never been to an LFTN workshop or any workshop, it's kind of, we'll call it what, 3.5 days? It's almost 4 days, isn't it? Really, depending on how you
Yeah.
slice it. And we had, I don't know how many speakers did you go?
I don't even know.
You don't go, do you?
I would say probably 5 a day,
Okay.
15. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's
Probably about right.
somewhere in
2 or
there.
3
Yeah.
every morning, 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
And then we had a few kind of what do they call it? Like demonstrations,
Yeah, workshop. What do they call those?
salons.
Salons.
I don't know where that word comes from.
And
It
then they
doesn't
have.
seem right.
I know. I didn't get my hair done. Look,
So
see,
okay.
see what happened.
Here's a complete
I need to
observation.
go to salon.
Have you ever noticed that hair salons have like the darkest names ever? Like Do or Die, or The Finishing Touch, or The Final Cut. Like, isn't that
Yeah.
weird? I don't know. Just saying. Anyway. So
Salon sounds awful lot like a saloon.
it does. I would like a saloon better than a salon myself because I really don't need a salon. So put on a what did you teach this year? How to forge?
Forging.
Yeah.
Forging basics.
So I got a question about that.
Yes, sir.
I didn't ask any questions about forging much when I was watching you, but when I went and did a knife making course, and they heat up, I guess, what do they call it? I guess you forge the knife or, quench
Yeah.
it to make it strong, whatever. It took forever for that knife to heat up in the propane. Like, I mean, probably 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You had charcoal with
We had sparklers,
yeah.
coal.
And with it, so that's way faster than propane.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry. That was some good steak.
I was very good.
Um,
Jamie says the steri strips are a nice addition, by the way. So
Thank you. So, your temperature is going to be based on the fuel,
Yep.
the air source, how much air you're blowing in, and the forge itself. So I have a forge that's a gas forge that's made for forge welding.
Okay.
And the thing sounds like a rocket ship.
Really?
It's like, and you have they call it the dragon's breath. There's like flames coming out of the forge.
Yeah.
I've singed my beard with it before. Pretty good. But it's intense and it wastes a lot of fuel.
Okay.
But it would flat get that steel to forge welding temperatures.
Yep.
So forge welding, you need to be up there just right below the melting point of steel.
Fair enough.
So I mean, it's going to depend on the forge itself. Obviously, the best thing to do would be, if you're not in production and trying to, get stuff done, they have ribbon burner forges and they got different styles of forges that are more efficient.
Sure.
And especially for beginners, it's good to have a forge that's pretty close to the temperature that you need to be working in.
Okay.
And then that way you don't accidentally burn your steel or, so then, but the trade-off is going to take more time.
Fair enough.
Just like cooking, right?
Yep.
I have some kids that like to cook everything on high.
I know people like that.
And, a lot of times you need to know just how to set that dial just right. Sometimes you want to cook on low. Sometimes you want to cook on medium. And sometimes high. But
it's a matter of having the right setup for the right gear for the right product.
So
did you sharpen any knives at LFTN?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many?
I would say too many that I couldn't count.
That's fair.
But I can't count very high. I run out of fingers.
You haven't ran out of fingers yet, though. You still have some. So you haven't hurt yourself. You're good. So doing all right
I
there.
forget how to use them. So I didn't, some years I didn't sharpen as many knives this year as I have in the past, but I'm there to sharpen knives, but I'm more there to teach people how to sharpen knives.
Right.
I did a lot of that.
Yeah. I watched you. I like watching you from afar. I'm like, who's learning this time or who's watching this time,
Yeah.
I like it. So for somebody who's never gone to a big 3-day workshop event, what do you get out of it? Why would somebody go to something like that? Probably not the reasons they think either, is it?
Yeah, it's really about the people that you meet, and not even necessarily the speakers, but it's the people who are there at the event. They're the real people that a lot of times at an event like that, you're going to meet like-minded people that when you meet them, you feel right at home. Mm-hmm. You feel like family, and you develop relationships that will last years.
I mean, you and I, we met 2 years ago. Basically, it
feels like 5-6 years ago. It doesn't feel like 2 years ago, and not in a bad way.
No, I was just going to say I apologize because I'm Canadian, but no, it truly does. It feels like it has been, and part of that's probably because
you've come to a bajillion events.
That is true, and we talked, in Zello on and off, and I joked before, but you added me I requested a Facebook friendship from you, and you gave it to me back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So I was highly honored for that. But
yeah, and I don't even have a blue check mark or nothing.
No, but you have a glorious beard, so that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, how it is. A little more glorious than mine for sure.
It's fake.
Yeah,
it Duck is. Dynasty.
I helped him glue it on before we started. It's part of his brand, and I just realized, speaking of brand, I'm not wearing my hat. But that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's sitting on the dash of the truck because when I drive, I usually take it off. Just because when you turn, sometimes the bill's in the way and you're like, oh shit, I missed somebody. And then you hit them. And
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it happens all the time, So How long of a drive do you have tonight?
Oh, I think it's like 30 minutes to the house.
Oh, that ain't bad.
something
So,
like that. And
Haas,
then another 30.
Haas wants to know,
Maybe
Patrick,
another
are you
30.
going to SRF in October?
I don't know.
You don't have to.
should.
I
commit to
don't
anything.
think so.
No,
Maybe.
maybe.
I haven't been invited.
Okay. Well,
Maybe I
would you
have.
like to come?
We'll
Oh,
invite you.
Yeah.
invite
So
me.
here's the thing: we're doing a work day here too. You know, you don't have to come for that,
I
but
might come for that.
that would be really nice.
I think
would-
I might have a conflicting schedule, but I don't know. I'll
No,
check.
it's okay.
I'll check.
People
I would
just put
love
you on
to.
the spot. That's what happens when we go live: is people ask questions, and yes, you can.
It's
also
all
say,
scripted.
also
We did
say
plan
no
this all
comment.
out.
It's true. Yes, we give people money to ask provocative questions so that we can, you know,
Entertain you guys.
get the algorithm going, right? So Becky has like, well, what do we got? We got 10. We got 10 people on here right now.
She keeps shining her light in my face.
There we
Today
go.
we're going to talk about.
Today, kids. Yes, welcome to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
You know, we're doing this all off grid. I don't think people understand or can appreciate the level of prepper that you are.
I
Like-
don't know about that.
The lights, like I can't do this at my house, and here you're off grid doing this.
There is some rough. We had a few rough, Pat. You heard me. I
Yeah.
get very down on myself very quickly. Pat realizes that I'm like, I ain't gonna do this. Actually, did we turn that off or did it die?
It died.
It died.
Do I have
So-
to unplug it to turn it back on?
Nah, it won't. It won't get enough juice. So here we are. We're working at it. We have a laptop sitting on the deck. We have my Blue Eddie microphone next to us. Pat and I are hunched as close as we can to the deck. Becky's holding her cell phone up here so that we have light. The Anchor battery bank is shining. It's somewhat subpar light. We have a little solar light above us, but the real powerlifting is Starlink tonight. It's doing pretty good. We do have to. I think I got to cut a tree down or something. But
I smoldered the fire.
smoldered the fire. That's okay.
Smoldered, yeah,
But yeah, so we are. We're in the woods in Tennessee, aren't we, Pat? And Pat's he's trying to tweak my nipples while we're sitting here live. No, he's doing his best alligator shadow pup. Share it in all the places, let people know in Telegram, hey, we're going live, so folks will come in. These are just folks who get the notification and like, shit, let's hop on. Because I think it's been 9 or 10 days since I went live, which is probably the longest stretch in 3 years.
They're probably putting out an APB.
They are, yes. I've made it abundantly known in Telegram that this trip has been a working trip to have fun, to get Delinquents Gully done, and I'd be on when we could get on. And when I get back, we'll be balls to the wall doing lives again. And yeah. So did you stop anywhere else? Coming down at all, or did you just come straight down, hang out? And
So I stopped on the way down. I
Yep.
stopped and had a refresher course
on what?
forging.
Where did you go to do that? Or you just do it yourself?
That guy the Boaz Sunquist. He's the
Oh.
one. So we went and I made that hot cutter.
Okay,
Well, he and I made it.
sure.
So
So he helped you.
yeah, we made that
Oh.
hot cutter.
Yep.
And
Which
Then-
looks basically like a wedge that fits into your anvil.
it's
that
like
you-
a chisel that sits in your
That's
anvil.
it, yeah.
Yep. And then it's got a sharp edge.
Okay. So that kind of get you. See, for anybody here is wondering, like, man, should I teach something or should I do something? You literally stopped at somebody's house so that you could get 10%, 20% more comfortable with forging so that
Yeah.
you could teach your forging at the event, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm not really a blacksmith.
Right.
Like I started making knives 14, 15 years ago, and I started out traditional forging, Japanese style blades, but a lot of that forging was done with a power hammer.
Oh,
And so a power hammer is a lovely piece of equipment that makes forging really fun and easy. It takes a lot more skill and practice to do all that work by hand, which is a hammer and anvil. So unless you do it every day or you've put in your 10,000 hours, you're not going to be real efficient at forging.
right. But you're getting better at it.
Yeah.
And you're good enough that you're able to teach other people who had never done it before a little
Right.
bit about it.
Yep. All you need to know is a little bit more than the people you're teaching.
Chris wants to know, were you the striker on that project, Patrick?
Yes, I was the striker, and I also, I also held it. Yeah, we just worked together. So like, I did whatever needed to be done.
Is the striker kind of like the gopher? Like
Yeah,
the
you
guy-
sit there with a hammer.
Yep.
And when he tells you to hit it, you hit it.
Okay.
But then some of the times he was hitting it and I was holding and just
With your bare hands.
Well, I try not to show off too
Fair
much.
enough.
Well, and the problem I have when I hold my bare hands, I squeeze it too tight, and then when he strikes it, we're trying to expand it, but then I'm holding it,
Sure, so you're retracting.
and so
You're
then it
actually-
kind
yeah.
of causes rebound, and
That
it
makes
could
sense.
injure him.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you. So, this is kind of a cool thing about when you mentioned that you stopped to see, to refresh yourself so you
Yeah.
could teach something. You used to be, I don't know if is handyman probably not the right term. You
Yeah.
were- yeah. So
My
yeah.
company is called PJ's Handyman.
PJ's. What's the J? Is it Junior?
It was for my daughter's initials.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like
cool.
her handyman, I guess.
Okay, but that's fine. So we talked about this, and for anybody out there who's done that kind of thing or who thinks about doing that kind of thing, what was your philosophy?
Well, my philosophy is, and it's even today, like I can do anything. I can knit a hat.
Sure, but how do you do it?
You just get out there and devour information and start doing it.
So would you
Try until you get it done.
do you ever get mad when things don't work the way you want them to, or when you suck at first? Maybe you don't. Maybe
No,
that's
I
just
do.
me. Okay.
No, I mean, yeah, but you're not going to get better unless you just try.
I know. So then you just get over it and do it again.
I tell people I could perform brain surgery.
Right.
I just need somebody there telling me what to cut and where to cut and how
That's
to do
fair.
it. Probably mess it up a couple times, but I'm sure I get it right after a few times.
So did you ever take on a job that you didn't know how to do when you agreed to the job ever?
You can't be divulging secrets that I've confided in you.
I'm asking completely randomly. Would you
Oh,
like
yeah.
would you like me to tell my story about window
Sure.
cleaning first?
Let's talk about that.
So I may have told you this, I may not have. And if you have, just slap me and say I've heard it, because everybody else has heard the story. But there we go. It's a pretty good one. But when I was first I was not much of a handyman. Like I was good at picking up dog shit. I did that really well. But
Pays good too.
oh, it really does. $80 an hour at the time I was making. I was pretty good with that. But so a lady calls me one day and she says, "Hey Tim, do you clean windows?" And I hesitated for half a second.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm like, yes, I do. She goes, "I have the gear. You just need to come over and do it." And I was like, okay. Well, anyway, I went to my local hardware store, $20 to buy the cheapest window cleaning gear you could find.
Did you buy some Windex?
No, I didn't. I was smart enough. So I went to YouTube University and I watched a shit ton of videos.
Yeah.
And then I think my neighbors figured I was insane because I just went outside to my big picture window and I cleaned for probably 4 or 5 hours till I was like, yeah, I wouldn't fire somebody if they cleaned the window like that.
Yeah.
So then I did her window. I showed up. She had even worse gear than I had. And it was like an old gas station squeegee. It was
Oh,
awful.
yeah.
But I did the best I could. I was happy with it. She was happy with it. And in the end,
you bought the stuff and practiced at your house, but you didn't take the tools to her place?
I know, because she was a weird lady and she was very
Okay.
specific. No, it was my own fault. I didn't know enough to not.
Okay.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
curious.
No, 100%. And so,
Yeah.
but I did. So I used it. And I
Because
mean,
that's the first thing. If you bring tools, like you said, tell you how you did it and you brought the tools, like, oh, he's a legit.
then he
window
knows what he's
cleaner.
doing. I know. I didn't even know that I didn't know, right?
Okay.
So then I turned it into, eventually I took those $20 tools, used them for a couple of years, and then I bought really nice tools, and I would make $100 an hour cleaning windows.
So were you like those guys that could just like do it real? That's, I mean, I've seen some window cleaners, and I think there's pretty good money. Like I think I could do that.
It's awesome. I mean, for me, you know what it was? It was put in the AirPods.
Podcast.
Yep, and listen to whatever Patrick had to say.
I
or, you
love
know,
mundane work like that where I can let my brain do its thing, and
You get that back. I don't know how do you explain? Like,
that's why I liked welding, because welding, like one time we were welding this grain bin and you had to do 4 passes, like root passes to this bin.
Yep.
Although it was blistering hot, it was so hot that I took my welding leathers off
really,
and sat on them because otherwise the steel was burning my backside.
dude.
And I just sat there all day laying beads.
Yeah, but
in 100 degrees and just pouring sweat.
did you have headphones back in the day, or probably not?
No.
No, you probably weren't even. I don't know. Were you allowed to weld with headphones?
We had
or-
that was back in the Walkman days.
Fair enough.
Walkman.
Walkman. Man, I love that. Not even Discman, but Walkman days.
Yep. Walkman.
I used to love.
And I don't think you'd get away with taking that to work.
No, a Walkman or just anything. You might get away with
They were a little
AirPods nowadays, maybe. I don't know.
I'm saying back then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
You'd be like, You got to pay attention, young fella.
They got mad when I brought the phone because it had that cord and that, you know.
Oh,
Are
shoot.
these June bugs?
Yeah, that's June bugs.
Oh, they do get.
I don't even know.
bugs
They
down
don't even
here.
know it's not even June yet.
No, but it's also Tennessee. And,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
they get them a couple months early. You know?
I thought you were talking about the education system here.
Oh,
The
they
bugs aren't that.
Oh, that's fair, I guess. Yeah, they don't know, but I wouldn't say that.
So I'll tell you another funny story, not the one that you wanted to pry out of me.
No, I'd rather hear something.
To come to her house
Okay.
and walk through it. She was going to put it on the market to sell it.
Okay.
And it was like a 45-minute drive or maybe an hour from where I was at.
Okay.
And I was like,
She just wanted you to walk through her house.
and like tell her what needed to be done and like fix little things, doorknobs and doors and just whatever.
Okay.
And I wasn't real sure. Like I told her what my hourly rate was.
Yep.
And she paid it. And I brought my wife with me because I was
A little uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I told her, I said I needed some money up front. And so she paid me. And I like looked at the money. It was real. And so I drive all the way out there and I like, you know, fix the door so they shut properly and walk through and give her my suggestions on what, you know, she should do. She pays me the rest of the money. Like I vacuum.
Really?
I was
Okay.
vacuuming.
She just wanted somebody to do everything.
Yeah. And so she paid me the rest of the money and that was it. And then she called me she called me back. She wanted me to come back. And she wanted to pay me my hourly rate
Okay.
to mow her yard
Okay.
with her riding mower.
Okay.
That the battery didn't work. So we go to the store and we put a new battery in it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how much the battery
She
cost,
just
but
wanted like a, I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought she was going to off.
Now she was really smart.
Okay.
She was like a tool and die
Okay.
maker.
But just old.
And I'm
old
no, she wasn't really that old, but
Okay.
like just I guess I don't know. Sometimes people just want you to do stuff and
I thought maybe she's going to ask you to take your shirt off or something. I was
No.
No. Okay. Good.
but it was odd. It was
Yeah.
but it's interesting the jobs that you get called for when you're a handyman.
Yep. Do you remember any other odd jobs, like anything really weird or anything? I
No.
was trying to think of what the strangest thing I ever did, but
I always like when they're like, you know, I could keep you busy for a long time if you
Mhm.
could work for back then it was like $10 an hour.
yeah, you could give me a deal on the price. I could,
And I'm like, you know, if I want to do that, I'd go take a job at the grocery store.
Or even better, if you give me a deal on this one, I got a whole bunch of friends and family I'll recommend you to.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I tell you what, I'll give you the job. You'll pay me what I want. And every job you get me after that, I'll give you a percentage of the money.
There you
Oh,
go.
I can't do that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You ever fire a customer?
I don't remember ever firing a customer.
No.
No.
I fired an old dude who, anyway, he was a miserable old son of a bitch. I told him about a friend of mine, one of my customers that I really enjoyed. And I told him that he passed away. And he's like, good, I'm glad he's dead. I was like,
Wow.
whoa, you were a happy dude. And that wasn't the only thing, but that was one of those red flags early on,
Yeah.
you know? He's
Yep.
one of them old men that kept, kept grudges.
Does it
and
let
stuff,
more
so.
light in if I take my hat off?
It does just a little bit. If I leaned in more, everybody'd be blind. So.
Your wife moved the light.
Yeah.
so
Might
it
glare.
reflects.
See if we get a glare off you.
Yeah.
So what was the highlight of LFTN this time for you? What did
Oh,
you enjoy the most? Or
man, I've slept since then.
Yep.
It's hard to like put a, you know what?
Yeah.
It's going to sound funny.
No, it's fine.
My run with Porterhouse.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really part of the workshop, but you know,
But it totally is.
yeah,
In a weird way. It's not like
Right.
there was an organized run at all.
no. So for those who don't know,
Right.
Porterhouse is an ultra marathoner, somebody that runs like 100-mile races, and I'm just some middle-aged, heavy-set walker that runs a
can
little
run.
bit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just got done with a 5K training.
Yep.
Or mostly done. And so we go out and I ran almost 5 miles,
Really?
a little more than a 5K.
That's
And
that is.
it's in Tennessee.
Right. And it was not cool. Like it wasn't hot, but it was humid that day.
No, so he says, "You want to run tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You want to go run before breakfast?" Because like I don't like the heat.
Yeah.
I like to get out and run in the cool of the day. He's like, "Nah, we'll run sometime, you know." And like I think it was like 1 or 2, like the heat of the afternoon.
Oh, it absolutely was. I thought you were insane. I was awesome.
And I'm not, so I don't know for non-runners, like it takes a while to get acclimated to the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm not acclimated to the heat.
Right.
I'm running all in the cool times. So anyways, it was
But he's from
my
California.
heart rate monitor, my heart rate on my watch is not right. So for those who don't know, like zone 5 training
Okay.
is like when your heart rate is at like, if your zone 5 is set right, you shouldn't be able to maintain a zone 5 training for more than like 5 or 10 minutes
Right.
because you're consuming more oxygen and
Then your body
energy
can
than
bring
your,
in, right?
yeah. And in true zone 5, you can't stay at zone 5 for, I stayed at zone 5 for 43 minutes. Needless to say, like I pushed myself a little bit.
That's all right. I don't know. Yeah.
That sounds impressive, but I was running like a 15-minute mile pace.
Whatever.
Just kidding. It was like 13. It was like a 13 mile.
But it was cool because you was that the first time you ever met Porterhouse? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you guys just hit it right off.
Yep.
Yeah, Porterhouse good shit, man.
He is.
Yeah, it was quite funny. So I don't know. I don't know what my highlight was. There's a few things, but it was a funny little inside story or whatever. So 2 years ago at SRF, I met Porterhouse had listened to my podcast, and he came to not just to hear mine, but he wanted to hear my presentation on content creation, right?
Oh yeah.
So we hit it off and we talked a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And after my presentation, there was quite a few people that wanted to chat with me. And I know it's hard to believe, but I do like to talk a little. And so
Really?
I know, and I give everybody as much time as I could. And it was hot and I was dry and I had just finished a presentation and Porterhouse come by and I'm like, he could tell I was struggling, right? Like, and he goes, "Can I get you some water?" Or no, I might even asked him, would you mind grabbing me some? Because I couldn't even get away, right?
Yeah.
Not a big deal, and he ran right, brought me back, and it meant the world to me, right?
Well, that just speaks to the quality of his character. And so like we went on this run.
Yep.
And I knew that I was going to slow him down.
Sure.
And I did. And we got to the dam.
Yep.
And of course he wants to run to the top.
Sure.
And I've already given 80%.
Yep.
Like
and you're only halfway, not even quite halfway, right?
Yeah.
Go up a hill.
And so I just told him like, you go up, like go ahead and run to the top.
Yep.
And when you get back down, I'll turn around and go back with you. So we did that. Well, I'm still holding him back, you know? And so I said, or he said something about going ahead and run. I said, "Yeah, man, go ahead, go," because he'd already pushed me.
Yeah.
And I was good.
Yeah.
And so then, I didn't want to hold him back, but then like secretly you're kind of like, I hope he comes back and finishes the run with me.
Sure.
And sure enough, he came back.
I knew he would.
And finished the run with me. And, like a lot of people would just finish their run and like wait for you to come back. And, and, he's a fireman.
Yes.
And so they know how to work as a team
mm-hmm.
and they're not going to leave somebody behind. And so, like I appreciate that type of character.
Did you catch any of my presentation or were you probably, it's okay if you didn't, I'm not asking.
No, I don't think I did.
So I get up and I'm going for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And this has only ever happened to me 2 times. I went completely dry. Like I don't know. I had like this awful tickle in my throat, just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Not 2 minutes in, Porterhouse looks up at me, winks. He says, "Do you need a bottle of water?" I'm like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I love you. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And he was telling me about, stuff. He was saying that your talk at Self-Reliance Fest it really sparked him too.
Dude, he went home and he blew his channel up. He went from
so this is what workshops do.
Right.
Like as iron sharpens iron,
so one man sharpens another.
Yeah. We encourage and we build up and we help each other to be better.
Right.
So, and that's,
it's the good kind of peer pressure. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, we see other folks who are doing well.
Yep.
We want to emulate that. And so we want to put whatever that energy is into what we're doing. You know, we
Yeah.
want to, and that's not a bad thing. That's like, I see a guy that I really enjoy. I really think he's got it together, doing
Yeah.
something good. And so I'm going to follow him. I want to do that too. Right. And,
I mean, even just like, even like John.
Yep.
Like you ran a 5K. You ran 3 of them, right?
I did. I ran 3 probably. And that might be what, anyway. Yeah, that might be what I did to ruin whatever's happened in my foot right now, or my leg. But anyway, yeah, keep going, man. It was.
But I mean, it's these types of things, these changes that happen when you get together with people like that.
Yes.
You make changes, positive changes in your life that will affect you for the rest of your life, and you can go on to positively affect other people. So it's just kind of contagious.
And it becomes like this. I always joke the family tree thing, where eventually some people that you have managed to influence will go on to influence other people that you'll never even know about.
Yep.
And we joke like, pretty much all of us came out of, I don't know if we hit our head or fell out of the TSP family tree.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's, I look at it like, Jack influenced Nicole influenced me. Brian Alexovich was influenced by me. Then Brian to Backwoods Butcher.
Jessica influenced Porterhouse.
Right.
And so there's even like intermixing there.
So much that we'll never even know. And it doesn't matter, really. And I think that's cool too, because you go to those places and sometimes you're like, I don't know about you, but you're kind of off grid, living on your own, doing your own thing. I live way up in Canada. Sometimes it's easy to remember, or not easy to forget, that sometimes I guess we can influence people and don't think about it,
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, brother, I best let you get on the road because you're. So what are we right now? We are 9 o'clock. Is it really 9 o'clock? Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, 9 o'clock, and you've got probably 5 hours.
A couple 30-minute drives.
You'll make it there. So
it's all right.
All right. Well, Pat, I love having you. I know this is the first time you've actually been on the Workshop podcast, the Workshop Radio, but we'll have you. How about when we get settled, we'll get you on and we'll do a full episode of, I don't know, entrepreneurship, knife making, or
sounds great.
How to cook a
ribeye.
How to cook a ribeye.
The hobo way.
The hobo way, yeah. So, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. And we will see you soon. See if we can do this. Here we go. Leave this at the end.